Fire, fire, fire.
Hasan just made a huge mistake. Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here.
What?
So today we're once again talking about Hasan Piker. We have talked about this man many times on this channel before for an infinite number of reasons. But what we're focusing on in this video is not only something that shows how much of a performative activist this guy is, but it highlights a very disturbing trip that he's been taking in Cuba alongside other performative activists. Cuba? And what we're going to see should anger you to the core. And if anybody is still falling for this guy's nonsense, there's no helping you at this point. So right now, Hasan is a part of a convoy going over to Cuba to provide humanitarian efforts.
What?
Now, during this trip, there's already been a nationwide blackout in Cuba affecting over 99+% of its citizens. But don't worry.
Guys, don't worry. The rich American is gonna help you guys. Don't worry. Did he donate any of his money to Cuba? To, like, I don't know, some relief? As a Cuban, don't go. Or you could somehow get money, or like, I don't know, like, you could do anything.
The dwindling amount of power that has been made available is all...
Why? He makes so much money.
...rerouted to who else but people like Hasan Piker and these other activists who are staying in five-star hotels that never lost their power, and also have armed security to make sure the locals do not mess with their trip to Cuba. But on top of that, because of the lack of power, Cubans are literally dying in hospitals while Hasan Piker sits in a lavish hotel and enjoys concerts performed by the same convoy
Cubans are very nice
he is
people.
a part of. Again, I can't think of a more truthful and disturbing metaphor.
According to him, he bought a bunch of stuff to help fund tourism. Oh, he's paying an exposure. Right.
For the performative...
Yeah, that'll help the people. That'll help the people dying in hospitals for sure.
Activism people like Hasan Piker are taking a part of right now. So what is this entire convoy? Well, it is called Nuestra America, and it is in parts due to a collaboration with a group called Code Pink, who is doing many great things like painting murals.
Woman. I think woman.
For Cubans, that will save clearly countless lives. But on top of that, when Hasan landed in Cuba just 2 days ago, he just so happened to run into the co-founder of this group called Jody Evans, who just happens to be married to a man worth nearly $1 billion and is also tied to the Chinese Communist Party. Surely this was all a coincidence.
Look, I'm not into politics, but holy shit, what do you mean she has ties to...
Incidents.
Wait,
but before we get into
what? Is that
Hasan's
a little bit of conflict of
during the
interest?
streams
like
while
even a
staying
little
in Cuba,
bit?
Let's get a drip check on Hasan. When he landed, he made sure to show off his fanciest outfits. Now keep in mind, the average monthly income of a Cuban is around the equivalent of $15 US.
It's not a lot.
Hasan rolled up in that shirt you can see right there.
What?
His button down alone cost...
Dude, I don't even have a bag that costs $600. My bag costs $100, and that's the only bag I have. Are you kidding me? One shirt?
Around $690 US, which could feed a family of four in Cuba for about
a
one full year. What about his glasses? His glasses alone
Cartier. Oh my god.
Around $4.
You can't even fake. Like, I don't know, go buy some clothes from, like, I don't know, a thrift shop or something. Like, I feel like if I was, I don't know, doing this bit, I would probably try and play the part, you know.
$1,400 US, which would take around 9 years for the average Cuban to afford. Now, this is very ironic coming from Hasan Make the Rich Pay Piker.
Yeah,
we all know that he is very
powerful.
performative. But once he actually launched his streams, of course, complaining about the connectivity issues, you can see, even when he went live, things were not going well. It was a
He's not using Elon Starlink.
PowerPoint presentation. It was glitching out, as you can see. But once things stabilized, what did Hasan do? Well, he complained some more. In fact, he began by racially profiling Cubans.
Cubans? The fucking best people. Not in Miami? Oh, dude, it's the reversal.
I've met nice Cubans that... What? Not the ones in Miami? To be fair, nobody in Miami's nice. Oh, come on. I've met some nice people that were originally from Miami, where I live.
Literally, like...
Yo, whoa, is that me?
Like, all the good Cubans stayed here.
What do you mean the good Cuban? What do you mean all Cubans are bad that didn't leave Cuba?
And
what?
Most of the ones that are
Chat, I'm covering your ears. You can't hear that.
I swear to God.
No, that's mean as fuck, man. You can't just say that.
Experience with that.
You've been to Miami? No, I want to.
We get into Uber last night. Marsh and I are about to discuss that we're gonna be flying to Cuba, like talking about plans, right?
Okay.
And I was like, March, don't say anything. Because I noticed that the dude in the car was a Miami Cuban. I was like, don't.
What?
Like, I literally went, don't say anything. And then I just asked him. I was like, where are you from?
Okay.
And he's like, oh, Cuba. And I was like, okay. He said, Cuba. Donald Trump needs to finish the job.
No!
That's what he said. That was the first guy. And this is like...
And then Hasan went, gulp.
This was March's first real interaction with like a Miami Cuban.
Yeah, feel free to explain to me how this is anything short of racial profiling. Hasan Piker here, in his very progressive nature, is looking at Cubans and he's saying, here's what makes a Cuban good, and here's what makes a Cuban...
Anyone I agree with is bad. I mean, anyone that I disagree with is bad, and anyone I agree with is good.
Bad. In Hasan's eyes, if you stay with the regime and you remain in Cuba, you're one of the good ones. But if you leave, and especially if you go to the United States and support, let's say, Donald Trump or anything that Hasan does not like or agree with politically, you are a bad Cuban. That is an insane thing for anyone to say, but it's insane for Hasan to say, especially given the fact he's literally sitting in Cuba as he's saying this in a 5-star hotel. And people were very quick to point out how insane this is. As someone who knows liberal and progressive Cubans who have escaped...
They're just people that disagree on different things. I just think you're a nice person. I don't care about your fucking politics.
Stuff makes my blood boil.
What the fuck,
the
man?
U.S.'s sanctions must end, but what right does Hasan have to pass judgments on an entire ethnicity to which he doesn't belong? Why do y'all let him say this? Well, because he is on the right side of history, according to many people, and he can say whatever he wants.
That's so sad.
Hasan
I can't imagine living my life like that.
Ethnicities into pools of good versus bad is something he's been doing for a very long time, okay? He decides who is acceptable and who is not, especially when it comes to other ethnicities. He's been doing this for a very long time, but now it's in people's faces, and they're saying, whoa, wait a minute, that's insane.
No.
But the reality is he's been doing this for a very long time. Now, of course, Hasan
it's so sad.
Overstaying his welcome really ties into the entire trip, right? He's staying in 5-star luxury hotels. But here's an example of other missions that have gone to Cuba, where the team is sleeping on the floor or in community centers.
I mean, you know, I can respect that. I can. If you're... What? No, if you're gonna go and you're gonna do humanitarian service, you wouldn't fucking stay at a 5-star hotel.
Doing some sort of a co-op.
I would hope.
In...
If you don't, that's before the total power outage. I think that's fine. I think that's a fair thing to say or to do or say that you're gonna do. If they're getting caught, yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, the budget should go to the charity
Cubans
board.
and citizens.
Yeah.
So what does Hasan do? Well, of course, he stays in a 5-star hotel. And of course,
interesting.
he's being challenged on this. And I think rightfully so. Even his own audience is saying, hey, Hasan, what's up with this? Why are you staying in 5-star luxury hotels while you're doing this?
Yeah.
But Hasan immediately blames America because of course he would. And he says... The American government made it illegal for Americans to stay wherever they want when they're in Cuba. But listen to his words, because what Hasan is telling you right now is an outright lie.
I was saying, tourism is the lifeline for the Cuban economy as it stands currently. The government has very limited resources, and the American government makes it illegal for Americans to stay wherever they want when they're in Cuba. They have to stay in what they've declared as 5-star hotels, right? I'm telling you.
I'd need to have that written. No. What? No, that I'd have to like find where that's written or something. You mean you couldn't like stay like at a friend? Like you don't have any friends or like celebrity friends that have friends in Cuba or something?
All this because like even the 5-star hotels are not like, you know, it's not like, it's what the American government has declared 5-star hotels. But regardless, in comparison to the...
Cuba restrictions on Americans staying in hotels. U.S. citizens are prohibited from staying at over 400 Cuban government-owned or affiliated entities, including major chains such as Melia, Imperial Star, Blue Diamond, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean you have to stay at a 5-star hotel.
Situation.
That doesn't mean you have to stay in a 5-star hotel, though. That doesn't make any sense.
It's prosperity, pretty much. And experiencing that dichotomy is like definitely f***ed me up. Definitely. Like if I were to ever, I mean not ever, but like I hope to come back, and when I do, I'll probably not abide by the American restrictions. Probably.
This sounds so not very confident.
Hasan is saying it's all the American government's fault, and he doesn't really care, right? He's just gonna do what he wants to do in Cuba, stay where he wants to stay, because he's just gonna do whatever he wants, and America's at fault here. No big deal. Yeah. But if you see any clip like this on Twitter, you'll notice there is a community note. And once again, say what you want about Elon Musk,
they did what I did. They looked it up.
Twitter, now X, and the revamping of the community note system.
It is easy to find lower rated logics not on the prohibited list. That's exactly what I was trying to get at.
Is one of the best things that's ever happened to this platform because it provides critical context in moments like this. You can see the note. It says, U.S. sanctions on Cuba restrict U.S. citizens from lodging in accommodation owned by the Cuban government or connected figures. There are no limits on the quality. The U.S. government lists prohibited lodgings.
When I lie.
And wouldn't you know, thanks to the public messages by the related convoys, we know that the hotel that Hasan is staying at, or almost certainly is staying at, is listed in this prohibited accommodations list that is provided by the United States Department of State.
Someone
this is
caught
not
with
a
their
game. This is
pants
not
down,
a joke.
bro.
This is a very serious thing. Hasan, who
so someone could report him,
complains about all these things, is violating sanctions. Okay, to stay at the luxury hotel he wants to. And by the way, if this is all
$250,000 fine,
lining up the way it appears, he could be breaking the law. Very well might be breaking the law, which could be prison time. At the very least, very hefty fines. So this guy is playing with fire. And what he's claiming, as verified here, is false.
Grok, is this true?
He is lying about how this all works, hoping his own audience is stupid enough to not look into this for themselves. He is, by all appearances, going to a...
Especially for authorized trips like humanitarian aid. Well, look, I just... If you're gonna go under the pretense of helping, like, other people, you'd want to, like, allocate funds to help the people to bring more goodwill into your community or, like, into your own, like, you know, PR, right? Why would you, like, you could have stayed at a 3-star hotel or a 2-star hotel or something. Why are you like this? You can't even help yourself. Yeah.
5-star luxury hotel
yeah, his aura.
that is benefiting
yeah.
the regime. That is the reason these sanctions are in place. So if this is all lining up the way it is, or at least it appears, he is violating these sanctions
insane.
that are upheld by the United States government. That's a big deal.
You can't stay
in
a
see Legal
peasant
Mindset
hotel.
weighing in
What are
here
you,
saying,
gross?
glad this BS has been called
You
out.
can't have
Not only is there no
espressos.
restriction on quality of a hotel, but Hasan could have legally done a homestay, casa particular, with an actual Cuban family. Of course, that'd be far too rough for the champagne social.
What the fuck, man? You couldn't even, like, fake it.
There's absolutely no chance
the peasants.
this guy would reduce himself to living amongst commoners while he's over there doing a propaganda tour from his 5-star luxury hotel. But as we pointed out earlier,
I don't want to breathe the same air as the
going over
pores,
to Cuba, I mean, they're sleeping on the floor. They are doing homestays. They are sleeping at churches or anything they can possibly find. They're not sitting in luxury hotels. This whole thing stinks, ladies and gentlemen, but that should be obvious from people like Hasan. Now, there's a lot more to this, right? Because Hasan is not only doing this very questionable set of actions in terms of where he's staying, but he's also engaging with the local community. Well, in very interesting ways.
Let's see it.
Not having any bandwidth whatsoever, I have no idea what's going on. Like, last night, we ended the broadcast, and I went and linked up with the Progressive International boys. I met Jeremy Corbyn.
Okay.
That was fantastic.
Okay.
And I hung out with the Kneecap boys. We went out and drank at like a local establishment, and we have been we've just been living La Vida Loca, honestly. We've just been living life, living large. And
this has got to be rage bait,
peppering
right?
people with just wads of cash for the most part, with hopes that, you know, there's like a little bit of economic respite for each individual Cuban that we encounter.
I can't even begin to tell you how hilarious this clip is for so many reasons. Number one, Hasan is trying so desperately to act like he's just, you know, one of the people, right? He's there with his fellow socialists, you know, he's yupping it up with the locals, he's fitting in, despite the fact I've seen dozens upon dozens of tweets from Cuban nationals saying, "We don't want you here, please stay away from us." But Hasan, in his attempt to bolster Cubans,
we're living large, drinking champagne, and then we're giving out maybe like $100 to, you know, the people in hopes of helping them.
who are being affected by the shortcomings of the regime, is doing his best champagne socialist effort here. He's trying to fix the shortcomings of socialism by throwing money at them, by literally throwing the fruits of capitalism at them, right? His own ventures, his own wealth that he's procured through capitalism, he's throwing it at these locals who are living under socialism to provide them a little bit of relief. The irony is so unbelievable.
Fake,
I cannot believe anyone with a level of sentience would take this guy seriously, given how hypocritical and just...
while wearing a $690 shirt and some nice, clean shoes.
almost parody level his behavior is in Cuba, and generally, for that matter. But you also
Is that an
noticed
Apple Watch
during
too? Is it an Apple Watch as well? Aren't those like a couple $100s?
For that matter. But you also noticed during that clip, he mentioned the fact that he was hanging out with the boys from Kneecap, which is a band over here that was performing some classic messages during their concert over the last day or so, you know, spreading the message of Free Cuba, F Trump, and F Netanyahu. They're apparently Irish rappers.
It's all just like a bunch of white people circle jerking, bro. It's insane. I actually don't know how people like this. Like, how do you exist in like good conscience, man? So ignorant. Like, these people doing these concerts and there's people dying in hospitals. It's so
after
lame,
listening
right?
to this clip, all I can describe in terms of their quality, it's like an auditory torture. Like, I'm pretty sure the people over at Guantanamo are taking notes. They're going to be playing this music during their interrogations because it's just really that insufferable. But this comes at a weird time. So these concerts and all of these events are happening while there's a massive blackout.
Yeah, you're using
in
up
Cuba,
electricity,
a nationwide blackout,
man.
where over 99% of the population there is without power. And most disturbing about all this is the fact that Kneecap seems to be admitting that they're part of the blackout, that all of the power being directed over to them, the tourists over here, the people involved in the humanitarian efforts, it seems to be causing or contributing to the blackout. And the remaining power seems to be with the convoy over here. And this is where it gets very, very disturbing, because part of the blackout has affected many hospitals.
Yeah.
And what do you think happens when hospitals are without power? Well, people pass away. As pointed out here by one of the people on the ground over at Cuba. They say a friend in Cuba just notified me that every single patient in that hospital that was on ventilators passed away tonight. I don't have words. So while these people are having concerts, and people like Hasan over at their hotel, their 5-star luxury hotel, have power, Cubans almost entirely are without power, and people in hospitals are passing away.
Aww.
I cannot think of something that is more of a gross representation of these performative activists like Hasan and everyone involved in this entire
Gotta get my espresso, though. Gotta keep the espresso machine going, chat.
I mean, they are sitting there in luxury hotels with the lights on, with armed security, by the way, and they're enjoying concerts and all these benefits, while the people they're supposedly helping are not only sitting in blackouts, but are passing away because the medical equipment they need to keep people alive doesn't work. I literally cannot describe you how disturbing this is. But oh wait, Hasan has something to say about this. He says, don't worry guys, Cubans like sitting in blackouts.
It's incredible. It's truly one of my favorite places officially. I totally understand why Will was saying that.
No,
Cuba.
it's got to be out of context. Come on.
It's remarkable. The people's resilience is remarkable. There's like rolling blackouts that take place throughout the day, every day, all around the country, right? 11 million people. But today is a beautiful day out here. It's like 75 degrees, sunny. People are partying. People are partying in the streets. I don't know if it's like an island mindset. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but like, they're just chilling. Like,
I cannot think of something more disgusting than this. Hasan is basically saying
said that.
The Cubans who are
Does Hasan have a PR guy, perhaps? Does he have someone to like tell him to shut up?
Power.
Yeah,
they
they're
pretty
just
much like this. They're celebrating out in the streets.
fun.
They're partying. They're having a good time. They can handle it. They're resilient. It's just what they do. Meanwhile, no, nobody likes that. That should go without saying. Nobody likes to be without power. And people are being harmed as a result. But the only person or group of people who's not suffering is Hasan and his convoy, who are enjoying electricity, they're enjoying entertainments, and they're all doing it from the lap of luxury provided by the Cuban government, the regime that is causing all of this suffering, the reason they're there for these humanitarian efforts, and the reason why there's massive blackouts. And it's just absolutely insane that people take this guy seriously. But you know what? It could get worse. Not only is he being exposed for what he really is and what all these sorts
I wish, like, I don't know how he has viewers. Like, let's be realistic. Like, sure, there are people who genuinely think communism is awesome and great. But how do you look at Hasan and be like, yes, he's the pinnacle of, like, communist values and he knows what he's talking about, when you see him doing this shit? I just... MAGA body? He's got the MAGA body.
efforts really are at the end of the day.
That's why women love to watch
There's now
him,
some,
I suppose,
rumors that Cuba is preparing for a potential set of military action by the United States.
Oh, no.
And Hasan already is technically in some hot water because of his stay, right? If everything's lining up the way it looks, he might not be allowed to come back in a just world, you know? If they were actually trying to do anything about people violating these sanctions, he might have a hard time even coming back. But what if something happened and Hasan is still in Cuba? How is that going to fare for him? Do you think in a moment of crisis, a national crisis or military action or anything like that, do you think the locals or the government for that matter is going to have an easy time dealing with people like Hasan and his convoy? What's going to happen to them? Well, all I know is I wouldn't want to be them during times like that, or really times like now where there is clearly some tension. But this is, I mean, what else do you say, ladies and gentlemen? What else do you say about individuals like this? I mean, his image is so daunting and
Well, he didn't want to stay with the Cubans and sleep on the floor. I tell him to kick rocks if I was a Cuban over there.
It made my computer even start lagging there for a second. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Hasan's already home. Maybe he just has a friend that he, like, calls up a jet to get him out of Cuba. Yeah. That is insane. I didn't even know about this whole, like, going to Cuba to help. Mamma mia. He's such a LARPer. At least there's some people who legitimately, like, they have at least, like, some intention to be, like, good and, like, help them or something. It was planned out for a month. Shows what I know. Yeah, go check them out. That's crazy. To help. I'm putting parentheses to help, but, like, you know what I mean? He's a poser. I don't know, man. It's fucking sad. I'm on the ground talking to real Cubans, chat. Male Karen? I'm helping. I'm bringing my tourism over to Cuba.
Fire, fire,